last chance to dance. The challenge, perfection ×2. The goal, a Canadian championship. The next step, to the world stage. Tonight, skates, fate, and glory on a frozen dance floor in Ottawa with another dream, another quest on the horizon. Shae-Lyn Bourne, Victor Kratz. They're Canada's best ice dance team since Wilson and McCall, and quite simply, they might be the best ever. Lefebvre and Brunet, a new team, but huge steps already. And Emerson and Kavanaugh, also in the hunt, looking to win their tickets to the big dance.
In figure skating competition, you are generally rewarded for doing things which look spectacular, that are difficult and scary. That is not the case in dance, Barb. But when you look at a team like Shae-Lyn and Victor, you get all kinds of different elements.
Well, what they love to do is keep the audience on the edge of their seats. They like the high-risk elements. They like the things that are very athletic. And actually, they've been getting some criticism for that. Some judges think that they're actually being too athletic, too much like pair skaters. Not enough footwork, not enough dance holds. However, they are so good, so talented. They are far and above the very best team that we have.
And so much fun to watch, and we'll see them coming up.
The club was founded by the Earl of Minto. He was the Governor General at the time. It was in February 1904. At the beginning, they used to skate on the outdoor rink at Rideau Hall, which they still keep that up there. Well, the Minto Follies first started in 1922. It started way before the days of professional ice shows, and we would bring the Canadian, North American, and world champions to the show to skate, and this was how people had a chance to see it. Our most famous champion was Barbara Ann Scott. She won the world title in 1947, and then in 1948, she won the Olympic gold medal. Since then, Donald Jackson, who's now the director of skating at the Minto, he won the world championship in 1962. We had Lynn Nightingale in the 1970s. She won the Canadian Senior Ladies Championship for about 4 or 5 years. Barbara Ann Scott was a great inspiration to everyone. And just like Donald Jackson is an inspiration for the younger skaters today.
Thank you, Rod. We're now set for one of my namesakes. Paul Matheson about to take to the competitive stage along with Kimberly Curry. They were 6th after the competitive dances, slipped a couple of notches through the original dance. They now sit in 8th position.
This is their 3rd Canadian championships together, the 2nd year for them in senior.
Their music is George Gershwin's An American in Paris, and what they want to do is reproduce the mood and many of the movements from the movie, starring the late Gene Kelly.
Free dance, the skaters are allowed to perform up to 5 lifts, but the lifts cannot go past the male's shoulders. like pair skating when it's full extension.
Their coach, Paul McIntosh, says these two have a very nice chemistry together. Their style is very soft.
You can tell they really feel the music. Wasn't extremely difficult in terms of footwork, but I thought that it was extremely well performed. They have a great chemistry.
Kimberly Curry and Paul Matheson.
That was very nice.
Well, they'll be hoping to move up with that performance. Kimberly and Paul are both 21. She's from Barrie, Ontario. He's from down Stratford Way, Little Embro, Ontario. And the first set of marks look like this.
I have a feeling the presentation marks may come up a little bit.
The range here from 4.7 to 5.1.
No, I don't think so. There we go.
Thank you. Our next competitors, les prochains concurrents, représentant les clubs du patinage artistique de Boucherville et de Laval, Erika Souyapa-Gagné et Sylvain Leclerc.
Erika Souyapa-Gagné was born in the Honduras, lived there a year and a half before moving to Canada. So with those Latin roots, she learned flamenco dancing on the floor before trying to transpose it to the ice. Their choreographer, Kelly Johnson, trying to make use of that Latin look and very expressive faces that both Erika and Sylvain Leclerc can muster while in performance.
And you can see that it's extremely natural for Erika. both Erica and Sylvain have had a lot of ballroom training, and that's what this sport of ice dance is all about, transposing ballroom dancing on the ice.
And the big problem with this sport has always been that that is what it's supposed to be. But so often the skaters feel really confined by that. Through the 80s, we saw the Duchenes and even Torvill and Dean break the rules consistently, be rewarded for it. And so the sport keeps changing.
It's going through a constant metamorphosis, but they seem to feel that it's now where they want it to be in terms of the style of ice
emphasis on
dancing.
traditional dancing.
And away from different scenes. Unfortunately, that's what made it so popular in the late 80s, were the themes really brought a whole new audience to
the wilder
sport.
music, the wilder costumes. Now the emphasis back on the tango, waltz, foxtrot.
And the more traditional roots. Is their expressiveness. If you watch their feet, though, however, they're not always completely in sync. They need a little bit of work on unison.
Erica Soyepa-Gagné and Sylvain Leclerc. After the compulsory dances and the original dance, the marks here for the senior dance free is worth only 50% of the total score, so it's very difficult for partners to really move up the ranks in a big hurry as you can in singles or pair skating, where the free skate is worth 2/3 of the final mark. Eric and Sylvain were 9th after the dances, the compulsories, 9th after the original. And one might guess they might remain just about there with marks like those.
Our next competitors, les prochains concurrents, representing the Minto Skating Club, Julie Lauzon et Juan Carlos Noria.
These are the first Canadians as a senior competitor for Julie Lauzon. She's 21, from Ottawa. Juan Carlos Noria, originally from Caracas, Venezuela.
And he's one of the more experienced veterans here at the Canadians. He competed at the World Championships with his former partner, Penny Mann. There's been a real shake-up in the ice dance community in Canada. A lot of new partners, new partnerships formed over the summer, and many of the teams have only been together for a very short time. But these guys have really gained a quality of confidence and smoothness and unison in a very, very short time together. very light. They seem to just float across the ice. It's very important in ice dancing to be very quiet. And those with the best edges, you never ever really hear the toe picks.
Julie is 21. She's a biology student at the University of Ottawa. 28, is an artist. Their goal was to make a free dance that was romantic, fun, and artistic, very different.
Thing for a dance team to achieve in a very short time together is definitely unison. Every single step the judges are looking for to be in sync. These guys have done a very nice job of putting it all together in such a short time. That's a great ending.
That was very nice. Julie Lauzon and Juan Carlos Noria. Her coach and choreographer is Marina Zueva, also the person that put them together.
And Marina Zueva is very well known for her work with the late Sergei Grinkov and Ekaterina Gordieva.
Hi.
She is living in Ottawa now. There she is in the background.
Well, I think Julie and Juan were very pleased with that performance.
I really liked just the way they were so light. Beautiful edge quality.
Hi, everybody at home. Hola, Jose.
The marks we're seeing are all within a very narrow range.
The marks for artistic impression, 5-0.
Well, Curry and Matheson had been the leaders, but you are now looking at the new leaders, but the big guns are yet to skate.
5-2. Thank you. Our next competitors, les prochains concurrents, représentant les clubs de patinage artistique de Saint-Hubert et de Boisbriand, Marie-France Dubreuil et Patrice Lauzon.
Well, here's an all-Montreal pair. Marie-France lives on the South Shore. Patrice from Boisbriand. 7th at this stage.
And Patrice's former partner, he is competing against Chantal Lefebvre, who is skating with Michelle Brunet, and we'll see them later on. Just one of the couples that has split up this season, or past season. I like that lift. It's always such a challenge in ice dancing to come up with new and very innovative lifts. You're always searching for something a little bit different, a little bit new.
And difficult, not because you can't do them, it's because the rules are so restrictive.
Well, the judges don't want to see anything that is a feat of strength. They are not rewarded for that.
Yeah, this is the only part of figure skating where great athleticism, innovative skills, strength, agility are only rewarded.
I like that one, too.
If they enhance the dance. Did that enhance the dance?
It did for me.
Boy, a really different ending there, too.
That was fun.
Marie-France Dubré and Patrice Lauzon. 7th, heading into the free dance.
Clearly their strengths are in the presentation, the chemistry, and their innovativeness. I think what is lacking a little bit with this team, and a lot of it is just being new together, is the difficulty in the footwork and the steps. If you watch the feet, they weren't moving as quickly as some of the judges like.
Well, we're seeing a lot of asynchronous dancing. We're not seeing the synchronized, intricate dance steps that often we see with the more experienced pairs. Here are the marks then. The first set of marks for technical merit, up to 5.4, excuse me. And with these marks for artistic impression, they have taken over first place. So Marie-France and Patrice are now in first place atop the standings, with Julie Lazone and Juan Carlos Noria in second place.
The dance free skate, and as we have a break in the action, let's go up to the concourse where a busy Rob Falls brings us up to date.
Thanks very much, Rod. Now, the Canadian Figure Skating Championships have also been a Canadian championship in both novice and junior ranks. So the stars of tomorrow also get an opportunity to compete with the big stars, the stars of now. Let us take a look at the results in the junior competition from earlier this week here in Ottawa. Let's begin with the junior women. Nancy Lance of the local team Minto in third. Jamie Renee Beresnac of Glencoe in Alberta. Second, and here is the champion, Martine Desgenais of Waterloo, Quebec, finishing in first. Again, the results, Desgenais of Waterloo, Quebec, taking the gold in junior women's competition. In pairs, here's the second place finishers from Boucherville, Quebec, Nadine Pernevaux and David Anica. And perhaps the future Underhill and Martini. Eisler Brasseur, Menzies Bombardier, Samantha Marchant, and Chad Haas. They train out of the Preston Skating Club. Marchant and Haas, Pernevaux and Anica, and Ruin and Pollard in junior pairs. Who will be the next Elvis? Here are the top three men in third place from Royal Glenora in Alberta, Ben Ferreira. Jason Deneme of Sherbrooke, Quebec in second. And the champion in 1996 in junior men, Colin Thompson from Mississauga, trains out of Toronto. Thompson, Deneme, and Ferreira, watch for those names. And it brings us to the junior dance competition. Laura Curry of Barrie and Jeff Smith of Orillia in second place. It was the team of Dara Henderson of Barrie, Jonathan Pancratz of Chateauguay, Quebec. They combined for a gold medal performance at the Canadian Figure Skating Championships. As I said, keep an eye out for them in the future. Nothing happening right now as they are into an ice resurface here at the Ottawa Civic Center. The top 5 dance teams yet to come.
Championships with his old partner. This year he has a chance to go again with someone new.
We came together in August, and Chantal had phoned me because she had heard that me and Jen, you know, it wasn't going too well, and we were undecided about going to the competition in '96. She phoned me, and I said, you know, I don't know if I want to keep going or not. I said, I want to think about my future, and I don't know yet about my skating career. I just didn't want to go through the motion again, and it was 6 years with Jen that I didn't want to throw away and then come back and not have success. And I phoned her a couple of days later, and I said, sure. I said, you know, I think I'm not finished, and the business is still to be done. I thought that we could make it really fast with Chantal because she had the experience and the potential, and I think it's showing up because, I mean, the flair that Chantal is bringing to me and what I'm bringing to her is showing up so fast.
In June, I thought that I could not do the Canadian this year, so I was like a little bit discouraged, because when you miss 1 year of skating, it's like it's tough to continue to work alone. So I'm really lucky to find Michelle.
It's a marriage. I mean, you know, you just start all over again. You start to know the person. I don't think I know Chantal, and she doesn't know me because we've been thrown in the ring for 6 months and say, listen, you got to do this, 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 and that, and then after that we'll think about, you know, you guys learning each other. It's in my head, and I think I put it in Chantal's head that we do want to reach our goal this year, and it was to get to Worlds. So it's for everybody to accept us and the judges to accept us, and after that, we'll be birds like flying in the air really free.
We still have some time to set up the final flight. When we come back, we move closer to the last dance at the 1996 Royal Bank Canadian Championship. Dance. Ushi Keshler is around here as well. She's coaching these two. How important is the coach to the dance teams or to a skater? Let's take a look now in this Kellogg's Q&A with our professor.
Welcome to Professor Kurt von Braunding's episode, Kellogg's Q&A. Today, we continue the scientific research of the skater. And the element we're going to study today is the coach. Like the air we breathe, the coach is sometimes taken for granted, always present, and very important to the growth of the skater. Drawn to scale, you can see skater, coach. Big presence in the career of the skater. Coach more than coach, coach friend.
He helps me when I have a problem, and when I get mad, he puts me down back on my feet.
Taxi driver?
My coach is a taxi driver. Actually, no, he's not a taxi driver. I drive her car. She let me drive her car. I'm the only student who's allowed to drive her car. I'm very happy about it.
Dietitian.
No, she's not a dietitian because I eat good and I'm a good boy for that.
Schedule maker.
I'm a busy guy and she likes to make my day really good, so she's there with me.
Sometimes hated.
It's normal sometimes. You gotta come back with it though. You gotta deal with it, and if you hate her, because she's mean with you and because she cares about you. I got it there.
There they are, Bourne and Kratz, looking to keep the dynasty going at the Canadian Championships. The final flight when we come back. Three-time Canadian champions going for a 4. Final flight of the free dance to come. Shaylin Bourne, pride of Chatham, Ontario. Victor Kratz. Getting ready. Final moments, and before we get to the final flight, let's take a look at how you judge the dance event. Judges have had to change along with the sport they are critiquing. Dance has evolved by giving the judges new moves and positions to watch for.
Free dances were very, in the early days, were very straightforward and upright and very one piece of music and then another and then another and then another as you try to display your talent for expressing music. It's a much more sophisticated free program nowadays than it was certainly when it was just 4 pieces of music put together. Well, there was a big move a couple of years ago when the rule went back in that the dance music for free dance had to have rhythm and a beat and a melody, because there was a period of time, mid-Duchesne's, when it began to be really interpretive dancing. They took any piece of music and they interpreted. And Klimova Ponomarenko chose to do a free dance several years ago, which was really an interpretive dance, and it was a magnificent performance. But it was classical music. It didn't make you feel like you wanted to tap your toes, and so after that we gave great consideration not to going back, but to always have this rhythm and beat there.
The free dance at the Civic Center in Ottawa, right after this.
We are back at the Ottawa Civic Center with the final flight of dancers warming up. They have 6 minutes to get ready on a fresh sheet of ice. Just over 3 minutes left on the clock at this particular moment. And what's going through their heads right now, Barb? What kinds of thoughts and emotions are...
You know what I always try to do on a warm-up is to get your heart rate down. Usually you get out on the ice and your heart rate is racing, And it's a challenge to try and get to that level of calmness where you can really concentrate, really get into your knees, because it's so important in ice dancing to use your knees. If you stiffen up, you hit your toe picks.
So here's the order of skate for the final 5. These are the big 5. Megan Wing and Erin Lowe will kick it off, followed by the people that you might want to see last, but Shaylin Bourne and Victor Kratz will be skating second in this flight. They are the leaders. Wing and Lowe are in 4th position. The team that's in 3rd place, Janet Emerson and Steve Cavanaugh, will skate 3rd in this flight, followed by Chantal Lefebvre and Michelle Brunet. The duo we've talked a little bit about so far today, they're new together, but really making a lot of noise here at these championships.
Well, they've made a tremendous impact here this week, and I spoke to Michelle at the very beginning of the week. I think it was the first practice, and he was just so nervous about what people were going to think about him. And I just said, you know, relax. People are going to love you. Just do what you can do. Show them what you can do. I said, you got to smile, because that's your best thing.
And the finals duo in the 5-some will be José Pichet and Pascal Denis. They are in 5th spot. At the present moment, Marie-France Dubray and Patrice Lauzon are the leaders. They had been 7th, so they have moved up at least 1 position.
Whoa.
Julie Lauzon and...
Had a little bit of a collision almost there. That shakes you up a little bit.
Well, we look all right.
I think what Emerson and Cavanaugh have over Brunet and Lefebvre is simply experience. They've been together for so many years, where Brunet and Lefebvre are just learning about each other. And there's a whole new set of things to think about when you're in competition, when you don't really know the person. It's a brand new experience. Here's Emerson and Cavanaugh. And their strengths are their footwork. When you watch them, keep your eye on their feet, because they move very fast.
We mentioned before that it's very difficult to move up in a hurry in dance, and that is partly because the marks are spread over 4 different skates. This free skate, once again, if you haven't been with us since the beginning of the program, worth 50% of the total mark. The free skate is 2/3 of the total mark in singles and pairs competition, so you have to survive the short skate, and then you make your big move through the free skate, and you can really jump a lot of places, especially if other skaters don't perform well. But here it's very difficult to make a huge move.
In ice dance also, it's traditionally been a little bit of a waiting game. It's difficult to move in ice dance. There's not any triple axels to land to sort of break your way through. It's a slow process.
So here's the order of skate. We ran through it before for you. This is just a quick reminder. It's Wing and Lowe. They're from Vancouver, by the way. We don't have a lot of BC skaters here.
We've got an awful lot of Quebec skaters, though. They really make up a big part of this championship.
So Wing and Lowe will kick it off, followed by the champions, and then the challengers. These people would love to make a trip to the Worlds. Two dance teams will go to the World Championships next month at Edmonton.
And these two know each other extremely well. She was only 11 and he was 12 when they got together. departure for Megan and Aaron. They've always done very traditional routines, and this year they consider this one a much more modern type of free dance.
Some people might say it's interpretive.
I just get the feeling watching these guys that they really love to skate. It's a very tight race between 4th place and 3rd place right now, between Megan and Aaron and Emerson and Kavanaugh. They are split 5 judges to 4. So this free dance could really have an impact on the result.
The elite training centers attract the best skaters and the best prospects. These two now work at Boucherville in Quebec, where they get great coaching and a complete package of support with costumes, off-ice training techniques, ballet lessons. Plus, you live and breathe in a skating competitive atmosphere.
And that's really what it takes to make it to the top.
And when it looks like they're having fun, they're fun to watch. Megan Wing and Aaron Lowe.
I think marks for technical merit. 5-4.
The first set of marks for technical merit
5-2, 5-2, 5-4.
are very strong. 5-2 through 5-5.
The marks for artistic impression. 5-5, 5-4.
And these come up a little bit. Everybody.
Those are very solid marks. They have to be happy with those.
Les prochains concurrents, our next competitors.
They were 4th coming in.
Les clubs du patinage artistique de Brossard et de Boucherville, Shaylin Bourne et Victor Pratt.
Boy, these two are popular.
This free dance has gone through a little bit of a metamorphosis since the beginning of the fall. It has been met with some criticism internationally, and so they've altered it in a few places. But they always want to keep the very athletic aspect, because they say that's what it's all about. This is a sport, and that's very important to them.
been just about untouchable here in Canada, winning the junior title in '92. They've won the senior title every year since. And Shaylin is all of 19 years of age. And 12 times they've represented Canada internationally in seniors competition, including World Championships and Olympics. And there's the Shea Crusher.
And they moved up the ranks so quickly. It's virtually unheard of. 95, they were 13th, then they move up to 6th, then to 4th, and now they're in a very good position to win a medal at Worlds this year. I love the way this program builds to the end.
Those low kicks are such crowd pleasers. Not that popular with all the judges, though.
But they're so hard.
Shaylin Bourne and Victor Kratz.
You are here, so am I. Maybe million.
And whoever made the sign, that person is not alone.
Well, there's no doubt these two are the most talented skaters in the dance event in the world today. The quality of edges is just unparalleled.
Well, they are individually such strong skaters. And they get together. Their chemistry really is electric. Huge, big marks for artistic impression. 5.8s and 5.9s. And they are, of course, in first place.
Our next competitors, representing the Loyalist Winter Club and the Upper Canada North York Skating Club, Janet Emerson and Steve Kavanaugh.
There is so much riding on this performance right here. Kingston's Janet Emerson and Steve Kavanaugh from Oakville are in third place. If they could move up, they would go to the World Championships.
And their strengths are their very effervescent quality and their footwork. Their feet really move.
their coach, Roy Bradshaw, says it looks like we could finish third once again. And if that's the case, then he thinks they have to all sit down and reevaluate, which has something of an ominous ring to it.
Well, I think this season they were really hoping to make the world team, so it's a little bit of a disappointment. Her ribbon just fell out of her hair. I don't know if they're going to stop the program here or not. But for a team who has only been together for 6 months to all of a sudden pop up ahead of them, that's pretty disappointing when you've been working for so long to make the world team.
Barb, you've mentioned all the changes in the teams over the past year. Was that for professional reasons or personal reasons or just something in the air this year?
I think something in the air. Some teams moved just because of location. Maybe things weren't quite working out, and they all sort of switched around. And this year we have a whole new look to the ice dance competition. I love the energy that this team has. Awfully close to that hair ribbon on the ice. I'm surprised they haven't stopped them. That was dancing.
Janet Emerson and Steve Kavanaugh, and lots more to come. Choreographer for Janet and Steve, and they all feel that the program suits them, suits their character, full of a lot of energy and vitality. And a big finish.
Hi, Asher. Hi, Josh.
Okay, hi, Rick, Lisa, Nancy, Jason. Where's there?
I don't know that those are going to be good enough.
Well, it's definitely not good enough for second. With Brunei and look.
They are in second place at the moment, behind Bourne and Kratz. But we haven't heard from these two yet.
Représentant le Club de patinage artistique de La Salle and the Minto Skating Club, Chantal Lefebvre et Michel Brunet.
If you were with us during the warm-up, you may have seen Chantal involved in a collision. I'm going to guess she's all right. She was over here dancing during the previous performance, just off ice. She's 18 from Montreal. Michel Brunet, 25 from Hull, Quebec.
And he is Mr. Personality on the ice.
And they are currently in second place.
This team has come so far in such a short time. They've really come together as a unit. I love the personality, the effervescence, the chemistry. I think the area they will need to improve on, though, however, is the difficulty of the footwork. And that is something that comes with time. I mentioned earlier, it's so hard to get the unison on when you're a brand new team. That's something that only develops with time. But this is the team that the judges seem to be giving the push to. So obviously they feel that they have a great future, and they have only been together for such a short time, and there's a lot of potential.
So what do you think? Are they going to the Worlds?
I think so.
Well, I think they performed just the way they wanted to perform, and their march should reflect it. Morningscrat's on top, and this duo will not catch them, but Emerson and Kavanaugh in second place at this moment are going to be bounced to third. Very good marks for technical merit, and the marks for artistic impression just as good. 5 5s and 5 7s, and they are going to the World Championships.
It was hard. We did it.
Our next competitors, les prochains concurrents, représentant les clubs du patinage artistique de Le Gardeur et de Repentigny, José Pichet et Pascal Denis.
Our final competitors in the 1996 Canadian Figure Skating Championships.
This team was fourth after both compulsory dances, then they dropped to fifth. So they're hoping to put in a good dance here to try and move up past wing and low.
José Pichet, 21, from Montreal. 20-year-old Pascal Denis from Repentigny, Quebec. Two years ago, they were the second best junior dance team in the country. Last year, their first run at the Canadians in senior competition, they finished 7th.
very solid dance. However, the one thing that's lacking is they're not able to involve the audience. They're not bringing them into their dance, and that was the one thing that Lefebvre and Brunet were able to do.
José Pichet and Pascal Denis. And they are the final competitors that we see here in Ottawa this year. And we had a couple of coronations, Barb, which I think caught no one by surprise. Elvis Stojko comes back, wins again. Born and Kratz win here in dance. The other competitions were kind of up in the air. A lot of people thought José Chouinard was a shoo-in in the women's competition. Didn't happen.
That was extremely emotional, that event, I felt, because for José, you know, the whole comeback, the way she came back after her pro skating, and, you know, she's put so much time and energy into this. Now she's not going to the World Championships. Extremely disappointing for her. I don't know what she's going to do from here, other than she does have the Champions Series still to skate in. But for Jennifer Robinson, that was great. I mean, that smile said it all.
That's right. One person's loss is another person's gain. And for Jennifer Robinson, coming out of junior, showing a lot of grit and determination, but admittedly against a very weak women's field this year. The women's field in this country has been quite weak for some time now, and maybe we just need a little more talent in the field to build it up. We're going to send people time and time again at the World Championship level who are not getting into the medals. As we see the marks right now for José Pichet and Pascal Denis, the one other one to talk about, I suppose, Menzies and Bombardier in pairs, they repeated. A lot of people thought that perhaps that had been a bit of a fluke last year, but...
Well, they came in from the very start of the week looking like champions, and that's what it took. They had the confidence, they did it, and I was extremely pleased for them.
So here's how we wrap it up now in dance competition. We expected Shailene Bourne and Victor Kratz to repeat. They have done. The top two teams off to the world, so Chantal Lefebvre and Michelle Brunet will join them in Edmonton.
So how does the fourth one feel?
Amazing. The best ever. The crowd was great, and it's the best program we've done at this point.
What do you have to do now, Victor, to get ready for the Worlds and get to the podium?
Well, of course, prior to Worlds, we have the runoff finals in Paris. It's another competition. It's just a warm-up for Worlds. And we just have to fix some little things and do the run-throughs and just have fun.
Fourth last year at the Worlds. I guess the goal is obviously a medal.
Well, we'll see. You know, fourth was great last year. We're just excited to go to the Worlds in Canada. That's the big thing. And we'll see. If they give us the medal, that's great. If not, we're looking ahead.
Well, I guarantee you, I think the people will be looking forward to seeing you. Shailene Bourne and Victor Kratz, Canadian champions.